It's thinking. Okay, I think we are officially live. I'm on CPT apparently because, it's 7:08, so we'll wait a couple of minutes for people to just get in. How's your week been?
Oh, it's been busy, but good. Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
good. Same here.
Mhm.
I was telling you, like I said before we started going live, that so Wednesday was our son's birthday. Today is my husband's birthday, and then we got Christmas next week. So it's just been like back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah. A lot of
But that's okay.
presents and gifts to get, right?
Listen, this is the time of the year that I have to save for the most because these back to back birthdays, and then I'm in January, so I'm trying to take care of myself too. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, so it's a whole lot.
Wow. I'm
It
praying
looks
for you.
like, girl, please do keep them coming. Keep them coming. Okay, it looks like we got a couple of people in here. Gerardo, hello. Yay. Thank you for joining us. Gerardo was part of the Creative for Purpose Challenge. So I don't know if I shared with you, but as for the week before, I was actually a challenge coach for Patrice as she started to get new folks on into the upcoming Purpose to Platform. So we got a lot of new sisters that are joining. Um,
Nice.
so it was really great to be part of that. Hey, Michelle. Michelle's here. Candace is here. P2P in the house. Hi, Karen. Oh, Mr. Roan. Darius, my husband, is on here. Happy
Aw.
birthday, my love. I'm not going to be here long. I promise. We got some stuff that we need to do, but thank you for chiming in. All right. I want to go ahead and get started. And
Okay.
first and foremost, welcome everybody to Flow Friday. Today, we are talking about when God calls you to move and how really being obedient is a form of self care because we all know, or as I've been saying this month, that self care is really something that um, helps you to show up in excellence in every single area of your life. And when you are obedient, that really is practicing self care, right? And
Mhm.
so I have with me the lovely Janicia Green, who is a faith coach, who was also just featured on this week's podcast. So if you have not checked that out, make sure you go listen to it because it is absolutely one of my most favorite episodes. I went kind of deeper than I planned on going as we were talking, but I just, as the flow queen, I let it flow. So tonight I just want to take some time and answer any questions that people may have if they've listened to the episode or even if they haven't, things that come up when you are trying to be obedient. And so, with that, I want to give you the floor to tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you're doing, and how you're doing this faith coach thing.
Yes. So, like you said, my name is Janicia Green. I'm a faith coach, and basically, I help take women in who are full of fear, who really want to do something major in their life, like quit a job or move to another city or start a business. I really give them that faith to then tackle that and do it fearlessly. So I love doing that. I love really seeing that transformation that happens when a woman realizes that they have been gripped by this for so many years and the freedom that they feel when they're just like flying in their purpose. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm all about. And so I have a program to really teach women that.
Yay! I think that's so dope. And I know in your intro on the podcast, I talked about how you moved across the country, not one time, but twice, right? You just upped and left, quit corporate America. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the first time that I felt God was calling me to move, I think I heard it and then I left within a month and I
Mm-hmm.
packed up my car and I drove across country. I was in Florida. I drove to California. It took me 7 days. 7-day road trip by myself, but I made it. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have money. I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have a job, nothing. But I did it and it worked out. And then again, 2 years later, I moved and packed up from California, LA to Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's where I am now.
Okay. Yay. And I need to ask, just because I'm in Chicago and the weather's really cold, what's the weather like for you? And can you send some of that sunshine this way? If it's a little warmer, it should be.
A little. The low 50s. That's too cold for me. From Florida to LA, this is like, I feel like I'm in Alaska right now.
Listen, it was 23 degrees this morning. 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll take them low 50s. Well, that's great that you have been obedient and moved across the country, not once, but twice. Talk to me a little bit about what comes up for you, or in your experience as a faith coach, what kinds of things come up that sometimes prevent women from being obedient when they hear what God is telling them to do, whether it's moving across the country, leaving a relationship, starting a new job. Tell me about that.
Just a whole bunch of question marks, the unknown. So where you are, you know how to get to work, you know how to get to the grocery store, you know, you have a routine, you know the familiar places, the best places to eat. You have friends there, you may have family there, and then where you're going, particularly if you're moving, but as well as a job, you may not know anyone there. You have to start over. You have to find new places to eat. And even though that sounds minor, that's major when you're adding all these little things up. You're like, oh my God.
That's not minor. I mean, listen, when I moved from Skokie on the north side of Chicago to where I'm at now, I was like, man, I need to find a new eyebrow lady. I don't even want to move because I've been going to her for 8 years. So that's not like something, it was minor to other people, but it was major to me. Mm-hmm. So I like that you say, even, you know, trying to find new places to eat, or, you know, looking for new people that you don't even know, having to really rebuild those sort of relationships, whether again it's a job or even if it's moving across the country. So those are really good points. I'm sorry, go ahead. Just wanted to tell you that's not minor.
No, that is eyebrow. Somebody do your hair, somebody do your nails, whatever that is your routine or the staples that you have set in place where you are. You have to relearn everything, and so that added together with, you know, the uncertainty of whether this new job that you start will be long-term, if it will last, maybe temporary. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm broke. I should have never stepped out. You know, there's a bunch of things and a bunch of worries because right now you're safe and over there you're unsafe in your mind. So yeah, that's something that we really have to work through with people. It's just all those question marks.
Yeah. And there's so many that come up. And I know with you, as I was re-listening to the podcast, one of the things that you said is that when you did move to LA, you thought that it was going to be like, oh my gosh, this is set up and this is here and this is that. And you got there and it was like, womp, womp, womp. There's nobody standing here waiting saying, welcome, we have everything together for you.
Yes, that's a hard thing because you think when you're stepping out on faith and you're being obedient to God that everything is just going to be perfect. Like after you take this leap of faith, it's about to be the red carpet. You're about to live in a mansion. You're going to be instantly rich and successful. And that can happen. But a lot of times there's still lessons that you have to learn along the way. And then it's a process to getting your process to, you know, finding your way. And so when I first went to LA, it was not as I expected it to be. I did meet people pretty early and I grew a church family really early, found a place to stay early on. But yeah, it was not what in my mind, what I thought it would be.
Yeah. And I think that's good because sometimes people are so tied to the expectations that they have created in their mind that once they, you know, reach one part of resistance as they are being obedient and following God, they like, well, God, I tried. I'm finished and I'm done. I'm just going to go back and do what I was supposed to be doing anyway. And the fact that you have been able to do that multiple times is just tremendous. I'm looking at some of the comments and it looks like, hey, Pam is here. Hey, Carla. Carla is another fellow HR lady. I cannot wait to reconnect with her. So I'm so glad that you're here. Let's see. Michelle said it can be scary restarting somewhere new. And Ashley said she could have used this in July, that she relocated and all her plans and cushions flopped, but now it's slowly panning out. Well, I'm glad that it's starting to pan out for you, Ashley, because Lord, I know moving and everything falling to pieces. Like,
And not only that, moving is one of the major stressors. So
talk
that
about
in
that.
itself will then send you into a whole spiral mentally. So then things not panning out the way that you had hoped as well can really play on your psyche.
Absolutely. And so, with that, I want to talk a little bit about. We've talked about what really kind of comes up and prevents people, but talk about what it feels like, right? Like when you heard God tell you that it was time to move to LA, how did that feel for you? And what were other people's reactions around you?
Ooh. Initially, I felt peace. I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, we can do this. And then when I started to think about the logistics of it, I couldn't breathe. One, it took me a couple of hours for me to be like, okay. And then think about, okay, how am I going to do it? Who am I going to tell? Because when I started to tell people, I did not get the reaction that I wanted because I'm all
You mean they wasn't supportive? They wasn't like, girl, this is what you're supposed to do. Go ahead.
And it could be different because on my trip to LA, really no support except for my close friends. But my trip from LA to Charlotte, very supportive.
Okay.
Like everybody I knew was behind me. But LA was something I had to really fight through. I had family members tell me that I was stupid. People crying, begging me not to go, saying like all the cons for leaving and how crazy this is. And honestly, it did sound crazy. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a place to stay. So wisdom would say this girl is out of her mind, you know. And I was, what was I, 25 at the time, traveling across country.
Girl, you don't look a day over 22, first of all.
Yes, I'm 30. But yeah, just it really looked crazy, and it was crazy, but I had God's word and I had to be obedient, and he taught me a lot through that, to listen to him no matter what obstacles came my way, no matter who was telling me this was unwise, who was my parents didn't want me to go and they wanted to protect me, but I still had to go.
Yeah, good. And the fact that, you know, you've had a different level of support now that you've done it again, I feel like that's a testament to you standing and being obedient. Like, you know what, we ain't even gonna worry about her because she said she got this, she did it. So let me go ahead and just be able to support her throughout this. And so I love it. I was thinking this week because I'm in a stage of that right now. I know I shared with you and I've shared pretty openly with other people that I have officially made the transition into full-time entrepreneurship, right? I'm CEO of Flourishing LLC. And that it's been scary for me. And part of it is because God told me to do this a couple years ago. And I was like, what? You want me to just walk away from this 6-figure job and say what now? Like, I'm not comfortable with that. But I thought back to a similar situation that I shared with you during the podcast where one day God was like, hey, you need to pick up and you need to move to Chicago. And I was like, no, I like my job. I'm comfortable. Although I had the very unhealthy relationship at the time, I wanted to stay where I was at because it was familiar, right? It was within my comfort zone. And so when I think about how I was able to literally walk into my manager's office and I think I said like word vomit and God speak at the same time, and say that I was moving, not having another job, not having anywhere to live, having this 4 or 5-year-old little girl, being a single mom. It was the scariest thing in the world, but I made it through. And so now being in this situation, when I tell you that the amount of faith that I've had since, of course, going through P2P, doing lots of back end work, has just been amazing. And I've had so many opportunities come through within this week. I was in tears last week. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm scared this is happening. I'm getting my last official paycheck, like those sorts of things. But the amount of faith that I've had and to see it coming together is beautiful. And so I'm so thankful that you do what you do as a faith coach to help a lot of us figure out how to do this. So I also wanted to ask you too. So part of being able to have that faith, um, what kind of things did you hear along the way? Because I know we talked a little bit about that, but like specifically when it was time for you to pick up and go, like you mentioned certain things, like sometimes we dismiss different signs, right? Like I think you said your ears were burning, that people were randomly coming and talking to you about LA, had no idea what was going on in your brain. Talk to us about what your experience has been with yourself and with your clients when you are hearing these God moves.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times doors close. And I remember when I was getting ready to leave from LA to Charlotte, because I was in love with LA. It was different. Florida, I was like, it's time to go. In LA, I was comfortable. I loved it.
Don't hate on Florida. That's my second home in my heart. The sunshine and the beaches, but I get you.
Yeah, it was different in LA coming to Charlotte. And what happened was my lease was running out with my apartment and I had a roommate. They were moving out. It was just doors were closing for me to be there. A couple of things happened. The job that I was at, I was contract and that came to an end. A lot of things happened where I was like, okay, and then I heard God speaking and I kept getting confirmations and some people would like prophesy and just like say, I see you in Charlotte. And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just listening to God and just dreams. He overloaded me with signs from and I felt like I could either stay and be in disobedience, not knowing what would happen, or I would just go in faith, even though I didn't want to. So yeah, I felt God leading me in so many different ways.
Good. Oh my gosh. I love it. I think you mentioned something about how it was a little different from when you were about to buy a car and you start to see that car everywhere, right? It's like all kinds of stuff just pops up and it's almost like confirmation, not only with the doors that are closing, but the doors that are opening. I want to read a couple of comments really quick. So Sarah said that people always tell you the cons first. Ain't that the truth, right? As you're trying to do stuff. So you got to exercise that faith muscle and push what everybody else is saying to the side. Pam said that that's awesome faith and obedience. Carla saying that's Abraham trust right there. And it's funny because that's what you also said in the podcast, right? Like with it being your blessings being tied geographically. So I love that. So, Miss Carla, you right on point. Denise is saying that oftentimes stepping out on faith doesn't really make sense. And that's true too, right? It may not make sense to us or anybody else that's around us, but really being obedient and walking in that is what's tied to the different blessings that are on the other side. So I love that. Carla, hey Camille. And then Michelle said that this is so motivational. I only pause because I've been so bad at reading the comments. I just keep talking and talking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, dang, it's 85 comments in here. Let me go back. So as we're talking, if there are questions that come up for you guys, put them in the chat so that we can answer them. If you're in a season of transition, whether you're considering leaving a relationship or moving jobs or changing careers or moving across the country, those sorts of things, and you want to talk through that a little bit, then make sure that you put that in the comments. I wanted to circle back to when doors do open, because we both know, right? Not everything always just goes to hell in a handbasket as you're trying to move, but sometimes things like just happen so smoothly that it's nothing but God. And I think you called it a divine assignment, right? Where you have to be at the right place at the right time. So talk to us about those sort of experiences that you've had.
Yes, there was a couple times where I felt like if I didn't move to LA in that exact time, that I would have missed an opportunity to be on a musical project that I really wanted to be on. I would have had no idea it existed because I would have never met the person who then introduced me to, you know, the producer. So yeah, it's divine appointment. You have to be in the right location. And you said something before where you were sitting next to somebody and they, you know, opened the opportunity for you to stay. Like you would have never met them if you weren't in that location at that time.
Yep. And I didn't even want to go to the meeting. I'm like, why I gotta go to the security meeting? And God literally sat me next to a lady who managed a bunch of different apartment complexes. And at the time, I think it was like 2007, I had just left that abusive relationship. I was living with my mom and my credit was not in a good place. And I'd actually had an eviction. I'm not afraid to share that here. I said it on the podcast, so y'all know. But this lady was able to help me despite the credit, despite the eviction. And had I not went to that meeting and sat next to her and been my normal, little bubbly, cheery, talkative self, I know that I would not have had the opportunity to move out of my mom's place and to set myself straight and go forward. So I totally believe in being in the right place at the right time and that it being a divine situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And then, like I said in the podcast, is that blessings can be geographical. And so taking Abraham as an example, when God told him to move, he said, go to a location that I will show you. And God could have blessed Abraham anywhere, but he chose him in a certain place. So had Abraham been disobedient and wanted to stay in a location that was comfortable to him, he may have had a good life. He may have, raised been his wife and, grew up to be a wise man and just a good man, but he wouldn't have all the riches and the destiny that God had planned for him in that location. And though it was scary and unknown, he had to go there because that is where God planned it or ordained for him to walk into his blessing. And so times when we're scared to move, we're missing out on blessings that are unknown because they're scary and they're question marks. But you have no idea the people that you will meet, the opportunities that you will walk into, the pay raises, the people who will really sow into your life and take care of you and really bless you just by you being there.
Yeah. And what I hear you saying in that is that sometimes you just got to move your feet, right? You just got to go. And if you stay where you're at, you're not going to get the blessings that are on the other side of that. And so being able to really move through that and use your faith muscle is what's going to help you. And it's not to say that you're not going to face resistance or that everything's going to go perfectly or that everything's going to go horribly wrong, but just really being able to move through that, trusting God. And in doing so, I believe that that is a form of self-care. So being obedient. Talk to me a little bit about what you think about that. So when you think about obedience and self-care, how do those two go together for you?
Yes, because you can take care of yourself. You can be, having your bubble baths every Sunday. You can be, getting your nails done, and you stuck in a place that you shouldn't be. So you're looking pretty in the wrong location. You're looking pretty that will not produce any blessings, where doors are closed, where you're not flourishing, and you're still in an environment where you're close to toxic people and you are fear bound and you're in your comfort zone and you're not walking in your purpose. So you're looking pretty in the wrong location. You can look pretty in the right location, or you could just, sacrifice a little bit and then get your right location and get pretty again, whatever the process may be. But you're taking care of your outward self and not taking care of your inward self or your whole environment in which God wants to bless you.
Ooh, that is so good. Ashley said, looking pretty in the wrong location. Yes, absolutely. And that makes me think about, right? You can get all the sunshine as a flower, right? Because I love flowers. You can get all the sunshine, all the watering that you need, all the fresh air. But if your soil is toxic, you're not going to grow. So sometimes the plant needs to be uprooted and planted in new, good, fertile soil in order to be able to flourish. So I love that you use that example.
I love that because I garden. I have a garden, and I have a garden next to a bunch of people. It's like a community garden, and
Okay.
the gardener next to me, she's amazing. Like her,
Mm-hmm.
like the best in the whole, garden. And I was watching her one time, and she would give me tips and everything because I'm the youngest one out there, and she would tell me about my soil, and she would,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is good soil, this is organic soil, this is compost. And she was like, this is why my vegetables get so big. She has these lettuces that are like huge.
Okay.
And I was realizing that I've been doing all this stuff where I'm trying to, get new plants and seeds and water it all the time and pulling weeds and all kind of stuff. And it's my soil that is prohibiting my success. So this year coming up, I'm prioritizing my soil. And so I love that because you can be doing all the things that you think will help you be successful in the location that you are in, but unless you're in the right location and taking care of your environment, your soil, and making sure that you are supposed to in fact be there, then there is only so high that you can go.
Wow. And I had no idea that you were gardening and doing all these things. Look at that. When it warms up, I'm gonna have to call you and get some tips because I want to garden, but I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. But no, that's great because the soil makes a difference, right? And again, just tying it back to really being able to be obedient and listening. I think for me, what I want to touch on quickly is as a capacity coach, right? So often, so many of us are so busy, being busy, doing all the things, not practicing self care, that we're not even in a position to hear God when He's talking to us. So, what kind of guidance or advice do you have for folks who are so busy doing that that they cannot even hear when God is talking to them? How can they get to a place where they can really hear God?
I say make it a priority as much as grocery shopping is priority or doing overtime or whatever you have to do in your daily schedule, make it a priority. So long years ago, I made Sabbath Sundays my priority where I don't do any work. And so that is my time where if I feel like I'm too busy, that I can really sit down and hear God. And I don't schedule anything for those days. So I would say make it a priority because your life could depend on it. Your life does depend on it. You can't be busy your whole life. Like there's health problems coming from being busy. There's just being stagnant and running on a treadmill, not going anywhere. You're busy, you feel like you're being productive, but you're not. So being able to be quiet, do fast, do whatever you need to do to just intentionally just sit down and sit and rest and quiet your mind, and just say, God, I'm here. Please just talk to me.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much because I hear it all the time. I don't have time to be still. I'm too busy. I got X, Y, and Z going on. And I'm speaking from personal experience. I was the one who used to be so busy that I never made time to, whether it was pray, to sit down and really be quiet. And I love that you said making it intentional, right? So as we are going into 2021, I want to encourage everybody to really be intentional about, if you want to be able to hear God more, be intentional about being still. Be intentional about getting quiet. Make it a priority, just like you do grocery shopping, right? And I love that because so many people put that on the back burner, and that stillness is a part of self-care, and it's tied to your capacity. Because if you are unable to really stop for just a couple of minutes, even like I said, if it's 5 minutes to just take a breath, how are you going to be able to handle everything else that comes your way? You definitely won't be able to hear anybody or anything else. So I love that you say that. I see all kind of stuff going on over here in the chat. So I'm going to ask if you guys have questions to drop them in. So Taria says, oh yeah, that's a great analogy. Michelle said, yes, soil prohibiting your success and growth, that's powerful. And Michelle also said that she needs to hear God more. Get still, boo. Get still. Yep, Ashley said that stillness is tied to your capacity. And thanks, Pam. Pam said that scheduling time with God daily. Make sure you do that because He will speak to you very clearly. I love that. And it's true, right? Like if you take that time to just really be quiet and implement it in your routine, right? Like I don't care if it's right before you brush your teeth, right after you brush your teeth, if you're praying before you eat your breakfast, lunch, or dinner, taking time to really listen. Let's see. And Carla said that stillness is still so challenging. And I want to talk about that for a second because it is. Like I mentioned, right, that earlier this week I was in tears because I was just so busy. I knew that there was a lot of stuff that's coming up. I've been preparing to launch my group coaching program. I was being the challenge coach in Patrice's group. I still have my own business stuff going on. My daughter had COVID. My sister had COVID. Like so many different things that were happening, and I found myself getting super anxious and just being more busy so I didn't have to think and deal with all the stuff that was going on. And so as someone who still is a work in progress with getting still, aside from I guess making it a priority, what other kind of tips do you have as a faith coach for us to learn how to get still when it's challenging for those of us who have it as a work in progress? I'm with y'all.
Well, when you have a problem to get still, sometimes I try to look inward and try to see my natural reaction to avoid stillness. So sometimes I like to withdraw and busy myself with unproductive work as well as productive work.
Busy is not the same as productive. Say it again.
Productive and unproductive. You could be playing apps and games on your phone, or you could be out there, signing contracts. You could be doing
whatever. Looking at my window, you see me playing Candy Crush, girl.
Either way, the time is going to go by. So you could be doing both. So being aware of those moments, like I know sometimes I feel like this feeling in my gut, like I just feel like I just don't want to do that right now, and so I just withdraw and do something else, even if it's productive. It still is not, I would say, something that is needed for me to be doing right now or at all. Like I can hand it off to someone else or do that later. It doesn't have to be done now, but I'm like, I'm trying to avoid. So when you're having problems being still, I would say recognize those moments and find someone that you can lean on, whether it is a friend, because you need an accountability partner, you need somebody in your circle to then lay these feelings on, particularly somebody who is of faith or somebody who just knows that you're going through a challenging time, and they're not one to then try to deter you and tell you can't do it. Somebody who would just, even if they just listen, don't really even say anything, like be aware of those feelings and then have somewhere to turn. And then sometimes you may need to talk it out with somebody first, and then like, okay, let me talk it out with God. So yeah, I would say that you need someone there, even throughout the process. Even when you make the move or make that transition, you need somebody who's like, oh my gosh, guess what happened today? Like, you need someone.
Yeah, just to get it off your chest. I love that you say that because I talk a lot about having a like a community of sister friends, right? People that you can go to when you are feeling like, you know what, I really would rather just sit here and play Candy Crush or turn on Grey's Anatomy. Yes, I still watch Grey's Anatomy. Or whatever it is. And having that person say, now, you said that you were trying to lose weight and go exercise, or, you said that you were trying to add X amount of people to your email list or whatever it is. And, or even like you said, just to listen. But it's vital to be able to have someone to bounce those things off of, for them to not deter you, but really redirect you with love, right? They might have to give you a little bit of a kick in the butt, but also with some love. And so I'm glad that you say that. So we have a question, and this is a really good question. I'll let you go ahead and go first, and then I'll give my perspective. So Michelle asks, how do you know it's God's voice?
I would say through a process, one of just learning his voice. So I've been through so many times where I learned his voice from, I think we talked about it in the podcast, of me walking out of the grocery store and feeling like God say, go pick the grocery cart back or go pick up that trash. Like I would hear, it's like a feeling, like it's not my voice. Like I would never say that because one, I'm lazy and I'm not going to go back.
Tell the truth. I love it.
You know? So I'm like, I would not say that. Like nothing. LA was not even on my mind at all. Charlotte was not on my mind in a million years. So I knew that wasn't me. And then from a process of confirmation and asking God, can you please confirm this? And we talked about it in the podcast as well. God actually confirmed what I said. And he did it in the exact way that I asked. As well as sometimes in the going. So you feel certain enough to go. And then a lot of times you feel the confirmation or you just feel the security after you have already went. Because nothing is really feels concrete, like nothing. And so you will always have questions. You will always have doubts. You will always think that was my mind. That's something, a lifelong dream that was in me that I was thinking to myself. And so a lot of times you have to get the faith from asking God for the confirmation and just knowing his voice, but then you just have to go and then let him, prove himself along the way.
I love that. And my take is pretty similar too, right? For me, it's been a feeling, right? Like, yes, there are some doubts that come in, there's questions, and I'm also asking for confirmation. And so I shared in the podcast about the situation with my husband, right? And where I was not in a place where I wanted to put our family back together. And although I was feeling it like in my head and my heart, I'm like, this gotta be God, because this ain't what I want. So from that, my stepdad, who, passed about a year ago, called and was like, hey, I know that we haven't talked, but I need to tell you what God just told me. This is what you need to do. And I was like, man, I just was feeling that. I was thinking that. And so the confirmation, and then on my way to drop him off, things happened that were just in alignment. And I literally heard God say, you cannot leave him here. Right. And so it wasn't me. It's like this feeling that overcomes you where it's not you. And even if I think about that from what I'm doing right now, like who in their right mind wants to just walk away from a 6-figure job? Like nobody. That I know that ain't me. Completely. I like the benefits. I like the regular paycheck. And I love what I'm doing, right? I've been coaching people for over a decade in a corporate space, and I love it. So it's not so much that it's always this loud, booming voice. For me, it's more of this gut feeling. And I'm like, all right, it's the gut feeling and it ain't me. And I also love that you say that the clarity or the knowing comes in the doing, right? Sometimes you just have to move. And when you do it, little things along the way come up, right? And I think Patrice called them God winks, that you see or you hear or you feel that solidify that you're on the right path. So I hope that answers your question, Michelle. She said, okay. All right, good. All right, y'all know I'm bad with this chat. If there are any other questions, type now or forever hold your peace. Any other comments, any of the things that you want to share? Because I need to go celebrate my husband's birthday today. Thank you, Mr. Rohn, again for being so patient and supporting me throughout this. I got the best husband in the world, y'all. I'm just going to put that right there. So before we get out of here, tell us where everybody can find you, kind of what you have going on, if there's anything happening in the new year, how we can get in contact with you, because you are just amazing and I love it. I want to know how other people can experience you and make sure that you're being shared with the world.
Yes, definitely. You can follow me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm Janicia Green. GENISIA. Of course, my name is right there. And then also, I have my program, which our next session starts in early January. And I'm just taking a small group of women to help them be able to move locations, jobs, start a business. And so you can find out all about that at register.thefaithmovers.com. And you can come in and register, and I really pour into you and really help you to get that courage that you need to take that leap of faith.
Yay! That's so good. And I'll make sure that I put that in the replay as well, like when I post. And again, if you haven't listened to the podcast episode, it's the most recent one that was released on Tuesday, When God Calls You to Move. All of Genesia's contact information on how to follow her, where to follow her, registering for her group as well is there. So please make sure that once you do listen to the episode that you tag us and let us know how it's helping you, what parts stood out for you, and then stay tuned for all the wonderful things that we have going on. And I thank you so much for taking your time to be here with me and allowing me to interview you for the podcast. I'm so excited for all the wonderful things that God is doing for you and through you. And we're going to have to do this again sometime soon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoy the podcast, all of it. It amps me up. Yeah.
Yay! Good. Well, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching the replay, put #replay. Let us know. And I hope everyone has a good weekend. I am off to celebrate Mr. Roan. All right. Have a good night.
Bye.